Welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. I'm your host, Christie Taylor. Super excited about my interview today. We are still in the midst of Women's Month. And honey, when it comes to being a woman and being strong and resilient, this sister right here is going to give it to us like none other. I am so excited to have all the way from the NY, Tamika Harden. She's a glam lifestyle coach and personal trainer. Growing up in South Jamaica, Queens, Tamika Harden was no stranger to the harsh realities of inner city violence and drug abuse. Harden credits her loving mother for her strength and perseverance to overcome many of the hardships faced growing up. Harden's humble beginnings motivated her to strive for excellence even at a young age. Her own battles with childhood obesity and overcoming it have set the stage for her own platform of inspiring and helping others to transform and uplift their lives, mind, and body. Utilizing her personal failures and triumphs, Tamika Harden became a life coach in 2017. She was driven to develop a program that was specifically target and strengthen the interaction of our minds and bodies, and thus we've got BodyByTamika. It was born. Her mission is to help us all to hashtag get sculpted. Hey, welcome to the Christie Taylor Show, Tamika Harden. Hey, lady.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on your show today.
Well, you know something. First of all, I gotta say, you look fabulous. You look fabulous. Everything is fabulous. Your decor, which I'm gonna be stealing. I'm gonna say it for the record. I'm gonna steal half of what you got on there. And I just love the fact that you just look so radiant. Wow.
You know, it's so funny. I saw a meme yesterday that said, because I'm not letting someone's dusty sun activate me. And I thought it was perfect. You know, you have to just own your happiness no matter what the circumstances are around you. We are still battling COVID-19 and slowly things are lifting and people are getting vaccinated and things are getting better here in New York, but we still have a ways to go. And I've been through it top to bottom, around and again, you know, and I have so many reasons to frown, but I keep fighting back and just owning my happiness because I deserve that and nothing else. So what you see here is a fighting Tamika. I've been fighting since 2020. I've been fighting all my life, but I've been fighting since 2020 to just be in this space because we've had some obstacles.
You know, Tamika, I am fully aware that, you know, I understand you've been getting some really great media coverage. And I think it was Madame Noir that talked about your personal, you know, struggle to overcome COVID-19, like almost as soon as it happened, and even keep your amazing spa open. Let's talk about that.
Well, in the beginning, this was March. We're dating back March 2020, right? This is when we are in the lockdown happening. We're first being educated for what we could, you know, to just even understand what was happening. And I was hit with, I tested positive with COVID-19 in March, right at the midst of the lockdown where my doors literally had to be chain closed. And then we would have been fined out of the from the fire departments and state departments. So it's like, okay, your business is done. And then now you've tested positive with COVID-19. So it has all happened all at one time. And I had no time. And then in the midst of it all, my clients had told me like, okay, well, we see everyone's going to Zoom. Tamika, when are you going to Zoom? And I'm like, well, I'm over here trying to breathe and catch my lungs. But I'll get there as soon as I possibly can, you know? So it was like always, it was everything happening all at once. And I had no time to transition. And I just had to strap my boots up and get to it the way that I've always been to do so. And that's really how it happened in a nutshell. So I've had quite the experience like many of us during this time.
You know, but one of the things that you talked about is that you were exposed early. Being in New York, we are very aware that there were certain hot spots early on because, number one, you all are an international city.
Yeah.
So any of your clients also contract COVID-19 in those early months?
Well, the good thing is only one or two of my clients that I know of had contracted the virus, but I'm so fortunate that when I contracted the virus, the lockdown was happening all at once. So it really decreased my exposure to my one-on-one clients. I mean, I see over 200 people a month on a regular basis. COVID yet, but before, and I would have exposed so many people not knowing, I was asymptomatic. I didn't know what I had. So I'm just so lucky and fortunate that when I had tested positive for COVID-19, my doors were being forced closed at the same time. So it really limited the amount of people that I could have been exposed to. And then when I tested positive, I contacted every client that I may have been exposed to. And out of all the clients I contacted, one of them did test positive, but she had a good recovery and she was able to fight through.
Well, Tamika, I am so grateful to hear that. And I love the fact that you spoke of a good recovery, because for many people, we would not know that almost over 500,000 people would not recover.
Yes.
So how did you recover, and what do you attribute your recovery to? Because, we're African American, we're females, and it has been documented that it hard hit our community.
Yes. I attribute my recovery to my mental health, my strength, and my physical. I think one of the good things is that for the first 10 days of having COVID, I didn't know that I had COVID. So there was no that doubt or worry could enter because I didn't know. To me, it was flu-like symptom. And then a person like myself who is so healthy, my physical lifestyle, my lifestyle and things like that, we as a fitness trainer, we think fitness cure everything. You're stressed, work out. Got a cold, go work out. So at the moment, I didn't know what was going on with my body. I began to fight it as I would any cold or any flu. Rest, juicing, vitamins, exercise. And then it hit me like 3-4 days later, after thinking that remedy would work, that I was bedridden. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. The only thing I thought was for normal hygienic purposes and bodily, that was it. There was no getting out of bed. That was it. So I attribute my fight to, I already had a good mind, so I wasn't knocked down there. Then once I realized that I tested positive, I'm like, well, you made it this far already. And then my physical health really made my immune system able to fight against COVID. So I always tell people, I feel like I was in a ring with COVID-19 and my body was like, we got this. All them green juices you made us drink, it finally paid off. All them carrots and stuff you made me eat when I really wanted a cheeseburger, it finally paid off. And I just really feel like my lifestyle is what made it a much easier fight for me versus many others.
Wow, I love that. And the very fact that you talked about your immune system already being from a lifestyle of green juices and carrots, there has So how are you in recovery? Because we do know that there are documentation now that those who were not many, I don't know the percentage, but that there have been those who have been infected by it, who are still having lingering symptoms or changes to their bodies. What have you noted personally?
None of it. So when I first began to feel the symptoms, let's say it was about Friday, and I fought through it all weekend. Tuesday, I was knocked down. So about 5 days difference. Then when I found out, I had to go through a few hoops and obstacles back then to get tested, because at the time, testing sites wasn't accessible everywhere in your community. We're talking at the height of the pandemic when we weren't prepared, right? So I had to, wait on the phone 5 hours just to get an appointment, and then go there to be told that I couldn't be seen that day, having to come back the next day. So by the time I found out that I tested positive, it had already been maybe 7 to 10 days that I had the symptoms. And when I got the call that I tested positive from the CDC, the representative said, how do you feel? And I said, Miss, I feel good. And I just finished teaching a Zoom workout. And she said, oh my goodness. She was just so surprised to hear
Right.
what I had to say. She was expecting me maybe to be in ICU at that time.
That's right. Yeah.
I was just very fortunate. My body fought this thing. It was no other. And I was back exercising by the 12th day. Now, let me tell you, I did have a lingering violent cough. I remember jogging and getting winded much faster than normal. So it did affect my respiratory system for some time after. I would say that I was like okay and back to my normal, but it did linger for some time, almost maybe about 30 days. I would say that cough lingered and that exhausted, much quicker than normal feeling lingered on. But other than that, I was fine and I haven't felt anything, since then. And the crazy thing about it is I tested positive March 2020. And when I did my blood work in January here, I still had antibodies. And the doctor said to me, she said, antibodies usually only last 3 months. So they are also now researching to see if the healthier you are, the longer your antibodies last. So that's a whole nother discovery researching. So it's to the point where my body was strong enough to fight it. And my body may be strong enough, my defense system, my immune system, white blood cells, be able to hold on to the antibodies even longer because the host is healthier. So this thing is right on how our lifestyles and our health really plays a role in how your body fights this virus.
Well, let me show them your body, honey, real quick. You ain't playing with us, honey. You're not playing.
Thank you, Chris. But the crazy thing is I've worked so hard. I've worked so good. This is, some of us, they just got it easier. Some people just naturally, they gain weight. They eat whatever they want, and it's an easier journey. I am not one of those people. So everybody who's watching, whatever your struggles are, they probably have been one of mine at some point, or they're still my struggles. Right now, I'm 176 pounds, and my really happy weight is like 165. And I've been struggling myself just to lose 10 pounds, post lockdown. So it's not easy. The physique that you see there, I am always so happy when people say you look great, but in my mind, I always say, you only knew, what I have to go through, even halfway attempt to look that good. I grew up overweight. I don't have the skinny jeans. I could go out for a weekend of fun, 5 pounds heavier on Monday. This girl got to work hard, to look good. So, and maybe that has been my journey because God knew that I was destined to help people with changing their lifestyles and building their confidence. So he said, I'm going to give you a hard one because that's the only thing that I know that you're ready to serve my people and do what I need you to do. If I made it easy for you, you would never relate, be able to relate to the struggle. But honey, if you done had it, I done had it. Okay. They can see food, seafood, smell food, and gain weight.
Gain weight. Yes. Yes.
I fit in that category. So
wow.
you for your kind words, but a sister has to work hard, honey, to keep that look that you see.
Well, how did you begin this journey? Okay, it's one thing to be on a fitness journey, but it's another thing to become a fitness trainer.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
I started my journey. I grew up with weight throughout my childhood and adolescence. And my motivation to get healthy, at first it was like a get back. Like, everybody who said you was overweight or you were fat or had a comment growing up, and I realized how it affected my self-esteem and, just my confidence. So at first for me, it was just like, it's a fight back. I was a teenager. I was 16 and I joined my first health club. I had a part-time job working at Key Food so I could finally afford a gym membership for $15, $20 a month at that time. And I lost 40 pounds and I fell in love with it. It was my first in life at a young age that you have the power to change the things that you do not like in your life. And then when I turned 19, they were hiring for a manager for the health club. And they said, Tamika, you are a great candidate. You have lived a program. You've experienced it. You fall in love with it. And they chose me to run the. And
at 19?
At 19, I was hiring, firing, training, building programs. I had beat the numbers, the sales numbers, the year-to-date numbers from the previous managers before. And I had experience because, I did retail sales leading up to this, but that came from my passion for helping people and change because I was very young, have quite the experience that maybe I should have had, but I beat those numbers, I bust those doors down, and I excited to show up and take pictures together in their outfits, because it was ultimately camaraderie. I managed Aluso Roberts, so it was a female-only health club, and I was just able to get people excited about changing their lives, and that stuck with me for years to come, leading up to the creation of Body by Tamika.
Okay, let's talk about that. So, Body by Tamika is a very comprehensive. I love the website, and I love the fact that you also speak to, let me just say it like this. I've been a full figure chick like yourself from childhood, and or in the South we call it big bone. But it was really in my formative years, I would say in my early 20s, that I started doing the yo-yo, because in that time it was all about being a size 6. Now let me tell you, a size 6'8", everybody wanted to be in a size 6'8". Well, at my slimmest, when I lost like 65 pounds about a decade ago, my slimmest would have been around a 10, 12. So imagine someone in her, I would say late teens, early 20s, trying to get to a 6'8", whose body, like you said, your comfortable weight would have been like a 165. I wish I was back at where I really was, but because I yo-yoed. So I guess I'm leading that into, when you started Body by Tamika, you are very conscious of people on all spectrums, even those who have, as we will get into talk about, body restoration through different means. So can we talk about the motivation as you have from 19 till now to really then strike out on your own and create your own program?
For me, I had no clue that Body by Tamika was going to happen. I knew that I loved fitness, and I went to college for everything under the sun. One degree is in marketing and fashion buying. One degree in psychology. I'm finishing my massage therapy degree. I was, in my mind, I felt like I could not survive on only being a trainer. So I had to have the greatest 9 to 5 and train part-time after work. This is my mentality. And then one day the light bulb went off and something said, you keep running from what you love. You keep, okay, girl, I was going to be a talk therapist, life coach, and get my clients to work out time. I said to myself, you are trying to recreate professions that don't even exist, yet. So why don't you just do what you love? And the light bulb went off at the age of 30, about 5 years ago. And then I started my business in 2017. And I just thank God for that light bulb, because I didn't have the means, I didn't have the resources, I didn't even have the money. I may have started my business with a few $1,000s. If I had 2,000, I would have been lucky. But I found a place that I could afford to rent and sublease, and the owner was eager to have me. And I had hired a nanny to raise my children, because at this time my children may have been about 7 and 11, or and now they are 11 and 17. But I had to hire a nanny just to take care of my children, so I could go back to the workforce full time, because there was no way I can do it. So I had planned all these things, and I didn't know what the hell I was about to do. And sometimes those voices are talking to you and your steps is just aligning with your purpose. You just have to have and trust that it's happening for a reason. Because when I say I didn't have anything to make me confident or sure that this was what I was supposed to do, but I just felt like this is what I need to do. And it worked.
Wow, I love that, Tamika. And I want to talk about the fact that you, in branching into your own business, that took a lot of faith, or as many people say, a leap of faith.
Yes.
And to know that you are now crisscrossing this country pre-COVID, working with celebrities, and you even came up with your own program, hashtag Get Sculpted. Can we talk about that?
So Get Sculpted it's an 8-week makeover program, where really what I want to do with clients in 8 weeks is just get them excited. Get them excited about making their health a priority. Get them excited about penciling 2 hours a week into their schedule where no one else is important but them. And that may sound like it's easy, but for the working, career-minded woman, for the mother, for the wife, that is very hard. So in that time, I just get women.
Mhm.
And I teach them proper nutrition, easy, moderate changes that you can make in your lifestyle that are not like, oh my God, I got to throw everything out of my house and, go cold turkey. Get acclimated to what a healthier lifestyle looks like for them. Because what a healthier lifestyle looks like for you, Christy, and me, and someone else may be very different. So just helping them embrace that process. And I just try to tell them, if you can just give me 8 weeks of believing in me and believing in you, I guarantee at the end of that, I can typically convert 90% of my clients into people who really want to work long term on making those changes.
Well, I definitely have seen some of your testimonials both on your website, which is BodyByTamika.com, and your Instagram. And let me tell you, not only are you working out, honey, but you are like fabulous. Like, do you have your own athletic wear? Because you are like a fashionista in the midst of it as well.
Well, hopefully that is to come. I love fashion. My first degree is fashion buying and merchandising. You couldn't tell me at one point I wasn't going to be a buyer or a merchandiser, but then I fell in love with fitness and my path changed. But when people say, none of that stuff is ever a waste, because I'm able to use my marketing and merchandising and buying experience to help dress myself and make myself presentable for my workouts. And I'm able to use my marketing experience to help build my business, which strongly survived and thrived because of my ability to market. So, when people think that their journey doesn't make sense, trust me, it does. And I don't have my athletic line yet, but it's in the works as part of the journey. And I'm just excited for all the things that are way, the opportunities.
Well, I totally have enjoyed checking out your videos, checking out you and your partnerships, and hats off to you. Even there's a particular recipe that you had on your IG. I said, okay, I kept looking. I'm like, how does she make that? Because it was like a quesadilla that was with the green
Yes.
tequila shit. I was like, oh, I'm hungry just watching this. But thank you so much for the inspiration. And even this year in 2021, many of us, picked up weight. Some people lost weight in 2020, depending upon where they were in their life. But
Yeah.
2021, I feel like we all feel recharged. So I'm inspired just having this conversation. And hats off to you for all the success that you have moving forward. But I don't want to end this interview without speaking to something that sometimes is taboo in the fitness world, and particularly when it comes to Black women and how we see ourselves in owning our own physical agency. And that is when it comes to, as you say, safe body sculpturing and also, let's just say, augmentation. Let's talk about your advocacy part.
Okay. So one of my biggest beliefs is it's a woman's prerogative to make alterations to her body in whatever way she sees fit. And what I do as a safe plastic surgeon advocate, I just help people understand that health and wellness, there's no way around it. Okay, you still need to be healthy for longevity. You still need to be healthy in terms of preparation for body augmentation, plastic surgery. You still need to be healthy because most surgeons, depending on what you're going for, they want you to have a healthy body mass index number, also known as BMI, before you even go into surgery. So often clients need to prepare for surgery, meaning they may need to lose 30 pounds, 20 pounds, get healthy, get body movement going. So my thing is, I just want you to be healthy when you get on that table. And I want you to be healthy when you get off of it, because there's no way around wellness. But I stand firm in my statement when I say that there are things that fitness can do that a surgeon cannot do. And there are things that a surgeon can do that fitness cannot do. So I think it's up to the individual to see what they want on their journey to recreate their image. And I'm not opposed to it. Like I had told Chrissy behind stage, I am 7 weeks out of breast implant surgery. And 5 years ago, I did a breast lift. And my motivation was my breasts had went through devastation. I mean, it was like, if I showed anyone the picture, they were like, okay, I understand why you did that. From being overweight all throughout my childhood, I probably should have been in an underwire bra since I was 6, because of just my size. And my mother had me in sports bras and kid bras because she didn't understand what was happening to this little girl. So with that being said, plus losing a drastic amount of weight at a young age, I had lost all the elasticity of my soft breast tissue. And these things were done. You would have thought I raised triplets on these things, And I'm telling you, I'm just being transparent. And these are the issues that some of us don't shed light on why a woman may feel insecure, whether it's looking at herself, whether it's during intimacy, and who has the right to say that that woman should not change that part about herself that she does not like. It doesn't make her less of an individual, of a woman. It doesn't make her, too full of herself, not in my regard, in my perspective of that change. So I speak to safe plastic surgery. I am here for it. I just want clients to know that I don't care what doctor you find, you still have to focus on being healthy at the end of it all. You still have to focus on self-love at the end of it all, because those are two areas that no doctor, no surgeon can change.
You better preach. I love it. I'm loving it. I love it. And something, just, for the record, I said, I knew she was going to come sexy. I knew she was coming sexy, but I just didn't realize how sexy she was coming, but I'm here for it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for advocating for our health. Thank you for advocating for our self-care and our self-love. And thank you for advocating that we get fit and truly fit and fabulous. So thank you, darling.
Just owning you and what that means. And it's nothing wrong with taking different methods to get healthy and to feel confident. You know, the resources are out there. We live once, use them. But just know that your self-care is important. It's important for your longevity and a better quality of life as we get older, you know, and more fabulous. We all have to reach that point in our life where we're aging. That's what we want. We want to live, you know. So in order to live, you have to age. So we just want to make that process, that transition, as fruitful as possible. And the way that we are able to do that is in our preventative healthcare measures, and that lies in your nutrition and more. So with that being said, I want people to get excited about making some lifestyle changes. And let me tell you, you don't have to make the changes that is suitable for someone trying to run a 15K marathon tomorrow. You know, you can start with bare things like drinking more water and less juice or soda. Something like moving 30 minutes more per week than you did before. I mean, we can start with something as little and as less as possible and then build from there. But these are small things that all of us can do, no matter our income level, no matter our time restrictions, no matter our responsibilities. We all can make a little change become a bigger change.
Thank you, Tamika Harden. We're going to be right back with a wrap up right after this. We're back with the wrap up of our interview with Tamika Harden, BodyByTamika.com. That is the source of all things hashtag Get Sculpted. Final words, and what do we have planned for 2021?
2021 of change. I am owning that season. I'm owning it, and I'm out and, you know, to the masses. I want this year to be a year we dig deep. We've learned and experienced hardship and adversity in the year of 2020. But we have to take that thing, bottle it up, and turn it into something else. So that is my motto for this year. A new season is a season for change. So all I want to do for this entire year is just tap in what that change looks like for me, and to help people tap into what that change looks like for them. This is a season for change. I feel it, I believe it, and I hope you're ready for it.
All right. Thank you, Tamika Harden. Be sure to check her out at BodyByTamika. Also, check out her Instagram. Let me tell you, she got some great inspiration on there, from fashion to fitness to food. All right. Love you for it. And thank you all for watching the Christie Taylor Show.
Bye, guys. Thank you.